Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, February 14th, 2025. What day is it today? Oh, yeah, it's Valentine's Day today, or as I like to call it, National Hallmark Day. So today we have a lot of treats and something that for a snow lover will truly enjoy. But also, I have to throw in a little bit of caution, as you often should, on some of the data that we're seeing, especially for the middle of next week. So we're going to talk about that. And also, if you are interested, or if you are perhaps looking forward to much warmer conditions for spring, then I have some good news for you there as well. And of course, every day, if you're interested in hearing about this data and understanding the evolution of the weather pattern, there is always premium consulting membership, only $15 a month, and an excellent Valentine's Day gift for that loved one who you know needs all of that very special information. So let's dive into some of the data. We start first with the polar vortex. I'm starting off with this first so you understand the evolution that we're dealing with, the pattern that we're in. And the pattern that we're in is in a state of contraction. Now, in the tropical forcing, not much has changed. We have a weak La Nina signal, very weak, with a rapidly changing SOI going back towards more of an El Nino look. So very weak cold neutral type signal in the atmosphere with the subtropical jet stream, and with the MJO in phases 7 moving into 8 and 1, it's going to become far more active and more favorable for interaction with the polar jet stream and potential winter storms. Again, the MJO in these phases does not guarantee snowfall in your backyard. It just increases that potential far more than if you're in phases 4, 5, and 6, where, well, it's very, very difficult to pull off. But as we've seen over the past couple of weeks, it can happen. So now we're moving into a more favorable tropical forcing phase, but now the polar vortex is changing. Right now it's split, leading to high latitude blocking, colder weather patterns, so on and so forth. But over the next 15 days, we are going to be going through what we call consolidation. Now, this is very, very important because what this tells us, okay, is that this weather pattern is shifting from our winter weather pattern to our spring weather pattern. And when you have a pattern change, it typically signifies the beginning of storm potential. So that is where we start to deal with 2 winter storms, one for tomorrow and the other one for the middle of next week. Both of them have some tricky aspects to the forecast, so we're going to go over it. But now that we understand what the influences are in the driver, you understand the 500 millibar pattern. And currently right now, we have a nice negative NAO signal here. Again, we don't have a good ridge axis here on the west coast, so our storm setting up for this weekend tracks to the west, which means we get plenty of warm air surging in after a cold start. This is a typical snow to sleet to rain type setup here. The question is not whether it's going to change over. The question is how fast does it change over? And the reason why we don't have a block to support a redevelopment off the mid-Atlantic coast is that this feature is a little bit too far north. You want this feature here, not here. With it being here, it allows for redevelopment here rather than down here. So you see, details matter. Statistics are important, but the details behind those statistics are even more important. So that's for this weekend. That's the overall theme. We'll dive into the details in just a moment. And then for our storm potential for the middle of next week, yeah, it looks somewhat favorable, but there are some issues here to tackle. Okay, so first of all, there's plenty of, this is a pseudo block, okay? It's not perfect, but it's enough to keep your storm track to the south, right? But a lot of this setup on all 3 models, which granted shows a winter storm on all 3 models, shows a scenario of perfect interaction. So color me a little bit skeptical on some of the details showing up in your favorite snow maps, which I'm sure that you are sharing via the GFS, European, Canadian. However, as I have been warning all winter, and we'll go through this again. We're 7 to 10 days out. We're in that 7 to 10 day window. And these snow maps that have been showing up at 7 to 10 days have verified 0 times. Is this the one that changes? Possibly. But there's a lot here that would have to work out just right in this whole setup here. Meanwhile, after that storm exits, hey, here comes spring. Well, we get chilly. We get chilly at first. Okay, we're dealing with some Arctic air to end February, but look at the evolution as we head towards March. And as I've been saying for weeks, March is going to start a Pacific pattern surging through, and that is exactly what we're going to see with our 850 millibar temperatures here as we head into March. The polar and Arctic air masses start to moderate rapidly, and we start to get more of a source region from the Pacific Ocean rather than from the Arctic. So, just a little bit of good news, give you a little bit of chocolate for those of you who don't like snow. And I've heard some of you already on the chat and in the in some of the comments on YouTube and Facebook. I get it. You want to get the spring. Well, here is your signal that that is underway. For more details on what the spring is expected to be, definitely check out the Premium Consulting Membership seasonal dashboard, the premium dashboard, the seasonal section. I discuss what to expect for spring that was issued this morning. So currently right now we have a polar air mass invading. Winds are from the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures range from the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s in your suburbs, lower to mid 30s on the immediate coast with a nice northwesterly wind gusting at times over 20 miles per hour. So it's definitely going to be a breezy, chilly day today, and temperatures really aren't going to be moving all that much from where we are right now because of steady cold air transport. When we take a look at our radar and surface map, not much is going on. Let me refresh this here for a second because we do have some lake effect snow showers up here. There we go. Now you can see those snow showers, a heck of a snow band coming off of Lake Ontario, reaching all the way into Connecticut. By the time it gets here, it's pretty much just very weak snow showers. But you can see via this how strong the cold air transport is. That's impressive. Okay. So again, on our infrared satellite picture, you can see trouble is brewing off to the west. It is heading this way. The phasing with this system is happening early, which is why we're seeing a track up towards the Great Lakes and Western New York rather than over the coastal waters. And because of that, the redevelopment is delayed until it gets into the Gulf of Maine. But here's our storm starting to come in, and here's our cold air transport now. Now, I want to make this very clear about the cold air transport because it sets up the whole setup, the whole storm potential. Because of the strong cold air transport, it lets the cold air settle in for today into tomorrow morning. So as a result, we're into teens and 20s to start. So you might be saying to yourself, Stephen, that sets up the potential for good snowfall. But warm air transport is just on its tail. And this is very strong warm air transport. Whenever you have a storm tracking to your west and you don't have a blocking high pressure system to your north, trying to keep that cold air locked in is very difficult. And more times than not, that cold air gives way faster because there's no support for it anymore. So currently right now, we have very strong cold air transport. Yep, it is cold. But the warm air transport is equally, if not stronger. So as this approaches, you're going to start to see this moderation start to take shape. And when you take a look at the 500 millibar pattern here set up, again, this is displaced to the north, too far north. This all tells me your high pressure center is going to basically shift, or if it hasn't already shifted, off the coast. And so that's going to support, by the time we get to tomorrow morning, southeasterly winds and then easterly winds. Those easterly winds then give way back to southeasterly winds, and then those southeasterly winds, southwesterly winds. These are all warm winds. This all warms the boundary layer and the mid-level layers very quickly. So this scenario certainly issues the potential here for snow to start, but a rapid changeover to rain as we go on through the day. And so this limits your snowfall totals. And by the way, the snowfall will start off at a pretty good ratio, but then start to rise rapidly. So on the 500 millibar level, again, our core of the storm on Saturday and Sunday is well to our west. The wintry threat is on Saturday. And as you can see, there isn't much in the way of support at 500 millibars. You do have signs of frontogenesis here. So this tells me, okay, we have steady warm air transport. But the core of the storm is well to our west. So that should also give you pause in trying to enhance the snowfall amounts that's set up. Now, beyond this point, I do want to touch on our storm potential. Again, in this scenario, you have a polar shortwave interacting with a shortwave in the subtropical jet stream. Another feature up here, which has been a rather funky on all the model guidance on handling this feature up here, as it tries to drop in on the northern edge of this feature. And I'm not sure if this is an error, or if it's just too strong. Okay, so that is weird. This is something we're going to watch to see whether this takes shape, because if this is as strong as it's showing, this should cause a shearing influence down here. In the meantime, because of the negative tilt, it creates this rapidly developing upper level low off the mid-Atlantic coast. Again, as I've been saying for a couple of days here, this could easily set up with a surface low on the Delaware River Valley or over the coastal waters. Okay, with Delaware River Valley would mean snow back here, coastal waters means snow over here. With that all being said, this also would suggest more of a shearing influence here. Okay, this isn't a powerful upper level low. This is a stretched out PVA scenario with perfect divergence and diffluence at the right time. So everything here says to me perfect interaction, thus perfect winter storm. So you could see why, based on the fact that we haven't had perfect interactions all winter long, that I'm a little bit skeptical on some of these higher snowfall amounts. I'm not skeptical on the storm threat. I'm skeptical on the details that are being thrown out there. And I think we need to wait a little bit until we get under 120 hours to really start to trust that. Could this fall into place when we finally get a perfectly phased solution and a perfect setup with perfect cold air placement and perfect low pressure placement at all levels of the atmosphere? Sure, it could happen, absolutely. But the fact it hasn't happened all winter and we're still not in a favorable pattern for it to happen tells me to be a little skeptical. So that's my thoughts on that winter storm threat. As far as this weekend, one little key rule I usually have is if you have an 850 millibar low tracking to the west of you, do not get aggressive with your snowfall totals. Unless you're in northern New England where you're in the heart of cold air. But even there, I'd be a little concerned about going over a foot in some of those snowfall totals, because this setup here supports rapidly rising snow ratios, rapid rising of changeover, and more likely a faster changeover to sleet and rain rather than staying all snow. And so at 850 millibars, you can see that rapid warming. I mean, you can see the frontogenesis. It certainly supports a burst of moderate to heavy snowfall, but it also supports a burst of sleet mixing in, which cuts down your snowfall totals, and also a rapid changeover over to rain. And the same thing is showing up here at the surface temperatures. Rapid warming on Saturday. The only place that really stays cold all the way through is for your far northern interior. So northern Connecticut, central Hudson River Valley, the Catskills, and extreme northeastern Pennsylvania. Everyone else changes over to rain at a pretty quick pace. And when we take a look at, let's first take a look at the latest NAM. This is at 06Z. We'll check to see if the 12Z is in all the way. Again, the push here is pretty fast. Okay. So you want to be very careful in trying to jump the gun here. And this is the mesoscale models. Now, you never take this verbatim, but you get the idea here, right? Same thing with the 12Z. Let's see what we got. We got it out to 48 hours. And again, very fast changeover. This does not wait around. But again, you don't want to play this verbatim, but you kind of get the overall theme here. The warm air is taking hold. If anything, we'll have to watch out for some icy conditions over the northern interior, especially around the Poconos and Catskills, basically northeastern Pennsylvania and the Catskills of New York for icy mix here. But the snow changes over pretty fast. And this is all because the levels at 900 millibars, at 925 millibars, and even 950 millibars warm very quickly. The surface gradually warms. 850 warms, but not as fast as 900 millibars. And so you're seeing this play of different precipitation types. The European guidance is basically showing the same type of scenario here playing out. And then, oh, by the way, after the rainfall, we might actually have a few rogue thunderstorms with the Arctic cold front that falls behind this, because temperatures plummet by the time we get to Monday morning on this. So don't be surprised if we get some convection out of this as well, and maybe a rogue weak thunderstorm on Sunday afternoon. Nothing severe, nothing crazy. Just don't be surprised to hear a rumble of thunder from this whole event. So my current thoughts are this. Yeah, we'll see snow as far south as Lancaster. Okay, York is going to be, you might see rain, snow flakes, but I think that's a little bit too far south. But you'd certainly see snow, and you could see as much of an inch of snow out of this. But then it changes over to rain. And that snow is mostly going to be on cold surfaces. A little bit further to the north, a little bit longer snow period, 1 to 3 inches of snow, generally to the north of the New York City metro, your northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, Sussex, upper portion of Passaic County, stuff like that. Then, as you go into Connecticut and into the Catskills, well, this is where you're going to see your 3 to 6 inches. Don't be surprised if Hartford gets pretty close to 5 or 6 inches out of this before it changes over to rain. And then far north, this is where you got your 6 to 12 inches. This 12 inches would probably be more isolated, more widespread 6 inches out of this scenario. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'll have a public map with a few more tweaks on this as we move forward later on. So with that, let's dive into the rest of this forecast for today. Look for scattered cloud cover, cold air coming in, temperatures not moving all that much, mid to upper 20s over the interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. For tonight into tomorrow morning, temperatures plummet, scattered cloud cover, low temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, the precipitation begins to develop, snow showers and rain showers to the south. Temperatures will gradually rise into the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s in the New York City metro, upper 30s to lower 40s in the Philadelphia metro. But when does that happen? As we move towards the evening hours. So our precipitation breaks out. I'd say after 3 p.m., everyone is getting some sort of precipitation. Rain down towards central and southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, snow around the New York City metro and off through the Poconos and Catskills. But that snow rapidly changes over to rain around the New York City metro and even points north. Watch out for some freezing rain up towards northwestern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, and also the Catskills. By the time we get to Sunday morning, our temperatures will continue to rise. The high temperatures in the late evening on Saturday are your low temperatures on Sunday, and temperatures continue to rise through the day with periods of rain expected throughout the region, heavy at times. Could be a few thunderstorms mixed in there as well, embedded thunderstorms. High temperatures will range from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior. So you can see how that warm air wins. Lower to mid 50s in the New York City metro and upper 50s to lower 60s in the Philadelphia metro. Yeah, could be a few 60s. Then the bomb drops out Sunday night into Monday, and boy, does it ever with windy conditions. So the winds veer to the northwest, pick up a 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts over 30 miles per hour. Temperatures plummet with low temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. Conditions don't get much better in the afternoon with still windy conditions, high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. On Tuesday, calms down, but chilly. Sky cloud cover, low temperatures in the single digits over the northern interior, lower to mid teens in your suburbs, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast and in your urban areas. High temperatures will rebound into the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s in the New York City metro, upper 20s to lower 30s in the Philadelphia metro. On Wednesday, another quiet day. Scattered cloud cover, still cold, with low temperatures in the single digits over the interior, lower to mid teens along the coast, high temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. Then on Thursday, our questionable storm. Well, if it lines up just right, perfectly, as all the model guides are showing, perfect setup, then yeah, this looks like a pretty good snowfall, especially for the I-95 corridor and the coastal plain. Interior, this might be a little bit too far east, but again, don't dive into the details just yet. Just know it's going to be pretty stormy on Thursday with the potential for snow. It's also going to be cold with lows in the single digits over the interior, lower to mid teens in your suburbs, mid to upper teens in your urban areas. High temperatures don't warm up much better. Mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. Then on Friday, the storm exits, scattered cloud cover, windy. Okay, so probably around 10 to 20, gusts over 30 once again, with low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, mid to upper teens in your suburbs, upper teens to lower 20s in your urban areas, and high temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, and mid to upper 20s along the coast. So February is certainly trying to end on a stormy note. That is for sure. But spring is not far away. So for more details on this storm, definitely check out the Premium Consulting membership. We'll have updates throughout this afternoon and again for this weekend. We'll see based on the data whether we have live coverage or not. I'll keep an eye on that. And also, we'll keep an eye on this storm for the mid to end of next week and see what evolves. For more details, check out the Premium Consulting membership at $15 a month. And as always, stay safe out there.